All right, let's talk about debt. If you're feeling completely weighed down by it, look, you are definitely not alone. It can seriously feel like this impossible mountain you have to climb. But here's the thing. There's actually a clear strategic path forward. So in this explainer, we're going to break down that exact path, step by step, to help you find your fresh start. Let's dive in. And I really want to start with this idea right here because it's so important. This isn't about feeling bad or looking back. Nope. This is about making a strategic pivot. It's about deciding that from this moment on, you're looking forward to a brand new beginning. That's the mindset we need for this whole journey. Okay, first things first, we've got to understand what we're up against. The real problem often isn't the first loan you took out. It's the cycle that comes after, that trap of using one credit card to pay off another, or getting a new loan just to make payments on an old one. And that cycle, man, it is so dangerous. It feels like you're just trying to stay afloat, right? But what's really happening is that every time you move money around, you're digging yourself into a deeper hole. You're not actually paying anything down. You're just shuffling the deck while the interest keeps piling up. It's a truly vicious circle, and our number one job is to break it. So how do we break out of that cycle? Well, it all boils down to one simple core strategy. This isn't some magic trick, I promise. It's a basic principle that, once it clicks, is going to completely change how you see your finances. And here it is. This is the guiding principle for everything we're about to talk about. You have to attack your high-interest debts first. It sounds almost too simple, doesn't it? But mathematically, it's the absolute best way to save the most money and get out of debt as fast as possible. You have to realize that not all debt is created equal. To really get a picture of this, think of your high-interest debt like a giant funnel. Every single month, a huge chunk of your payment just gets drained away by interest before it even gets a chance to touch the original amount you borrowed. So our first mission is to plug that leak. Now, look at this number, 15%. And honestly, it's often way higher than that. That is a massive weight pulling you down. This is that financial drain we were just talking about, right here in plain sight. This is the real enemy. This is what we have to target with a laser focus. Okay, so we've identified the problem, we know the core strategy. Now, let's get practical. Let's build your personal blueprint for taking action. This is where we turn theory into a real, concrete plan you can actually follow. Step 1, and listen, for a lot of people, this is the hardest part, but it's also the most important. You have to diagnose the problem. It's time to stop avoiding those bank statements. You need to sit down and make one big master list of everything you owe. Facing the numbers, it isn't about scaring yourself. It's the very first step you take to get back in control. And this, right here, this is your first tool. Seriously, you can pause right now and use this as your template. List every single creditor, how much you owe them, and your minimum payment. But look at that last column, the annual interest rate, the APR. That's the magic number. I want you to circle it, highlight it, whatever you need to do, because that number is going to drive your entire strategy. All right, once you've got that list of APRs, this slide tells you exactly what to do. This is called the avalanche method, and it's the smartest way to pay down debt. Here's how it works. Step 1, you pay the minimum payment on all your debts. You've got to stay current. But then, and this is the game changer, every single extra dollar you can find gets thrown at that one debt with the highest interest rate. You just hammer it. And once it's gone, you take all the money you were paying on it and you avalanche it onto the next highest rate debt. The momentum you build is just incredible. Now, for this to work, there is one non-negotiable rule. You have to stop the bleeding. You can't be paying off high-interest debt with one hand while you're adding more of it with the other. So for a while, you've got to stop non-essential spending on credit, maybe even literally cut up the cards, switch to a debit card. I mean, you can't fill a bucket that's still got a hole in the bottom, right? Okay, but for some of you, maybe you're juggling so many payments that it's just too complicated or the interest rates are just out of control. If that's you, there are some powerful tools you can use to speed things up. So let's talk about debt consolidation. And this brings up a really important question. If you do decide to consolidate, which tool is right for your situation? Because you really got two main options, getting a personal loan or going through a formal negotiation with your bank. And they're for very different scenarios. So let's break that down. Over on the left, a personal loan can be an amazing tool if your credit is still pretty decent. You're basically swapping all those expensive, high-interest credit card bills for one single loan with a much lower interest rate. It simplifies everything and saves you money.
But over on the right, if you've already missed payments and your credit has taken a hit, then bank negotiation is probably your best bet. This can stop those crazy penalty fees and set up a realistic payment plan that you can actually keep up with.
So we've gone through the numbers, we've talked about the tools, but you know what? None of it works without the right mindset. This isn't just about math, it's a marathon. You have to build a plan that's sustainable, one that helps you truly reclaim control of your life for the long haul. And this part is just so critical. Your plan has to be sustainable. You have to protect your core living expenses, rent, food, the basics. This is not about trying to survive on nothing, because that just leads to burnout. A better approach? Try to find ways to increase your income, even a little bit, and then point 100% of that new money directly at your highest interest debt. It's about being strategic, not just extreme. I really want to leave you with this final thought from our source material because it's just so powerful. Think about it this way. High interest debt isn't just some small problem. It's like a malignant tumor in your financial life. It grows, it spreads, and it hurts everything else. It has to be the absolute first thing you surgically remove. So what's the big takeaway here? It's that your situation is not impossible. By looking at your interest rates, choosing the right method, like the avalanche, and using tools like consolidation if you need them, you absolutely can break the cycle and get back in the driver's seat of your own life. You know, it all just comes down to making that decision to start. The blueprint is right here. The path is clear. So the only question left is the one right there on your screen. Thanks for joining me for this explainer.